All right, so to jump into a practical exercise that is really foundational and effective for anyone that is any sort of stress that you're feeling, anxiety, any sort of problem that you're kind of rattling in your mind, something that can be really effective to do and is to assert truth. And what I mean by that is acknowledge who you really are. And we're going to dive deeper into this, and then I will explain just a simple practice that you can do. And what I mean by who you really are is if I say, who are you? You might say, I'm Tyler, and that's just my name. And if I'm not my name, then it's like, well, this is me, this physical body. But we acknowledge, even in our language, I have a body, I have a name, I have thoughts, I have emotions. So there's an I that is back of this. So if we move the body, we say, I am moving the body. And if we are experiencing joy, I am experiencing joy. I am experiencing, choose the emotion of your choice. I am thinking this thought. I am visualizing this thing. The I, this mysterious thing back of all things, always exists. And there's a great saying, and I wish I had the book. Maybe I'll do some like book reviews. I think that would be beneficial for all of us, me to recap the book and then also to share that information. But it's from Neville Goddard. You may have heard of him, but he speaks that I am is always, is absolute, is permanent. We may forget who I am, what I am, where I am, but I cannot forget that I am. Even when you wake up in the middle of the night, like half asleep, not knowing anything, you still know you exist. And of course, when you're asleep in a deep sleep, you can say you're unconscious and you don't know you exist, but that is what your consciousness is able to pick up. But when you are conscious, you recognize that you know who you are regardless of anything else. So the exercise, and it's a way to allow us to, again, speak truth, assert truth, and to acknowledge what we are not. So let's say that we're experiencing anxiety and there's something that's we've been wrestling with and can't figure out how to resolve this. So if we feel that and we feel our body tensed up because of it, we can just first start with that disidentification, recognizing that I am not the body. I am not the emotions. I am not the thoughts. I am the observer. You can say I am the soul if that language speaks to you. I am the non-physical self. And we are, again, saying who we're not, so I am not the body, I am not the emotions, I am not the thoughts. I am the mover of the body, I am the feeler of the emotions, I am the thinker of the thoughts. So we're having that recognition of truth. And we can have that, it's a simple practice, we can just do that within ourselves and say that over and over and repeat it, repeat the disidentification, I am not the body, I am not the emotions. I am not the thoughts. Next. I am the mover of the body. I am the feeler of the feelings. I am the thinker of the thoughts. And in doing so, we're getting closer to who we really are. And then, depending on on the language, whichever is you feel is most appropriate for you, you can say, I am the soul. I am the spiritual self. I am that I am. I am that I am. And just repeat those three things over and over. The who you're not, who you are, and then a more clear identification of who you are. So when I say who you are by the mover, the feeler, the thinker, but you are not those things. I am the soul. I am the spiritual self. I am that I am. Now I would suggest just practicing that. Repeat that over and over. It can be a mantra. And if you just want to start, if it's like a crippling anxiety, you can just start with the first part. I'm not the body. I'm not the emotions. I'm not the thoughts. I'm not the body. I'm not the emotions. I'm not the thoughts. And let that soften. Allow yourself to separate from that anxiety, and actually you may be able to feel the separation of that. And then going into the who you are. I am the mover. I am the feeler. I am the thinker. We want to create that separation from physicality, from emotions, from thoughts, so that we can recognize that's where we find our power, because our power comes from that I am, comes from the spiritual self, which fuels this body, which allows us to experience the emotions, what gives us the power of will to think and to create. So that's that. Simple exercise, give it a shot, and let me know what you think. Cheers.